So we talked briefly about the colonies and England breaking up. It was a bad relationship, a dysfunctional one, and then the colonists finally had enough, and they said, "Hey, we're going to break up." Now, to formally do this, you've got to do right. You've got to break up properly, and the way that the colonists decided to break up properly was to have a formal document that would be delivered to the king that would outline the reasons. Hey, this is why we've had it. This is why we're sick of it. This is why we want to leave. And there's all kinds of ways we could really study this document. This is called the Declaration of Independence. This is going to eventually lead to war. We could study it in a lot of different ways. One of the ways that we could look at it, we could say, hey, let's look at the events that led up to the writing of it, and that's not a bad way to look at it. In fact, some of these events could include, well, the colonists, they were sick of being told what to do. They were tired of paying taxes and not having any say in the way that they were governed. They were tired of being treated like a big piggy bank for England. They were tired of being viewed as a backwards people, and also some colonists were forced to house British soldiers and to pay for their upkeep. And they were understandably, they were tired of that as well too. Now, we could view the Declaration of Independence that way, but I've got to say that's really kind of a boring way to do it. It's just one event leading to another, to another, to another, eventually leads to this, ultimately this declaration of war, this Declaration of Independence. I think what would be more interesting is to focus on some big ideas that are found in it, because it really is an absolutely beautifully written document. And some of the ideas that come out here so strongly are these ideas of freedom and liberty and democracy and, of course, individual rights. This is probably the most famous phrase from the Declaration. Thomas Jefferson wrote this. He said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." It's a beautiful phrase. It's beautiful writing. Now, these words have meaning, and there's emotion behind these words. Too often, I think those words like liberty and freedom, they're used in a very squishy way. And I think it's important to, at least for us in our class discussion, to really drill down and to say, hey, what does freedom mean? And don't give me examples of freedom, but really, what is a good working definition of freedom? And what does liberty mean? And this idea of equality for all, what did they mean by that? What do we mean by that? The idea of individual rights. These are big questions. In your next assignment, I'm going to have you come up with good working definitions, not just examples, but good working definitions of what does freedom mean? What does liberty mean? Is there a difference between liberty and freedom? Who should be given this liberty and or freedom? Who should be given the right to participate in democracy or the right to vote? And what exactly are rights? What are guaranteed rights by being an American? What are these rights? And are there limits to the rights of individuals, or should there be limits to the right of individuals? These are the big questions that I want to focus on, and we'll spend a few class times talking about this, and hopefully we can get our head around this.